Hello, today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a substance called cold porcelain. Cold porcelain isn't ceramic at all, but it's a very useful material for making anything from pendants, jewelry, dollhouse miniatures, and small sculptures. And you can often make it with everyday household items. You only need these four things: a stovetop and a pan to create it. It's made with 1 cup of cornstarch, 1 cup of glue, 1 tablespoon of baby oil, and 1/4 teaspoon of soap. The next step is to measure out your ingredients. Remember, you need 1 cup of cornstarch, 1 cup of glue, 1 tablespoon of baby oil, and 1/4 teaspoon of soap. I'm actually making a half batch here, and I've measured out all of my ingredients. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to put the cornstarch into the pan, and then I'm going to add the soap. After adding the soap, I'm going to add the glue and the baby oil. While this is happening, if you have an electric stove, you might want to set the heat on low. What I'm going to do now is this one. I'm going to place the mixture on low heat. So the consistency is going to be a little bit strange at first. The mixture is going to seem like powdered sugar that's not connecting well with the glue. But what you want to keep doing is turning it over and over and over again. So after a couple of minutes of stirring, you're going to find that the whole mixture kind of looks like glue. And you might think, how am I supposed to sculpt with that? But don't worry. Keep it on low heat and keep stirring for a few more minutes. So I've been stirring this for about 5 minutes straight, and it's finally starting to congeal. Now it's going to start to kind of look like mashed potatoes, and when you scrape the side, it's going to start to remove from the pan. Okay, and you know you're on the right track. Don't worry, it might seem like it's not working, but just keep stirring. You might turn the heat up a little bit too. So now these are like really thick mashed potatoes. At this point, you know to stop. I can barely stir this, and when I lift up, most of it comes out. At that point, you're done. Don't worry if it seems a little bit tacky. As it dries, it will get thicker. It's kind of become plasticized. And you can see it's already able to be molded in a way. Okay? Okay, so the pot's cooled down, and make sure you let it cool down because it can be hot and dangerous. So what I'm going to do is just try to save as much of this as I can and take it off of here and put it together. What you're going to do now is a process very much like wedging. We're going to knead the cold porcelain until we get all the lumps and air bubbles out of it. But first you want to make sure that you get as much out of here as possible so that you don't waste material. Okay, the way that we're going to do this is we're going to end up, so that it doesn't stick to your work surface, you're going to use some of the cornstarch that you used to make this in the first place. Just kind of place that down, almost like you would do with flour. Then you can put the cold porcelain on there without it sticking to your surface. And you can. So as I was saying, you can put the cornstarch down, and that can act like flour does when you're making dough. So it's going to prevent the clay from sticking to the surface. And what I'm going to do is kind of press the clay down and rotate it and repeat that. What I want to do is get all the lumps out, creating a super soft, lump-free and air-free material that's super stretchy. All right, guys, so here is a small piece of properly blended clay. It's extremely plastic. It's super fine. I can sculpt it into many different shapes, and it's pretty fantastic material. It's very easy to make, as you saw. The biggest thing is just not giving up on the stove when it feels like it's not able to be made into anything when it's really wet. You might think you got the proportions wrong, but you just have to kind of stick it through. So I'm going to show you how to make a flower. Or you could of course make anything, but things that are thinner, less than a quarter of an inch, they tend to do the best. So for a flower, I'm just going to simply make a few pieces of clay. Sorry, so you can see a few pieces of clay, kind of ragged chunks, and they're going to be various sizes. What I'm going to do is take the smallest ones and I'm going to flatten them out. I have what, 3, 6, 9, I have about 12 here. So I'm going to do is flatten out the smallest one and then arrange them by size. So smallest to largest. What's nice about this material is that, if I can get it to focus here, it can be made very thin. And again, it'll take on all the details of your fingers. It's really, really nice stuff. So I'm flattening out each petal. No rhyme or reason. It's kind of nice to have irregular edges. It'll look a little more natural. Okay, so this is about the biggest one. So I have them arranged from smallest to largest, and what I'm going to do is take a small piece of clay and make a bud shape out of it. So I'm just going to take a ball of clay and kind of pinch one end to make it like that, and then I'm going to take the petals and I'm going to wrap them around the bud, and as I wrap it around, I'm gonna twist it and insert the next one into the opening that's left, like that. There's no real wrong way to do this, honestly. And I'm just gonna continue to do that from smallest to largest. So I'm tucking in the next petal and then going around. Tucking the next one and going around, and so on. See, we're getting somewhere now, right? Got a little flower going. So again, I'm just tucking in each petal into the fold of the last one, rotating, and then taking another one and tucking it in until you run out, which I have. So now I have this flower. If you give it a little bit of a pinch to open up a bit more, you can kind of push these petals outwards so they have a little bit more of a natural look. Okay. Then what I can do with what's left here is make like a little stem out of it. So that's pretty much it. That was just an idea I had off the bat. But you have more clay. I have that and the rest of the clay that I made. So that's it. You can make as much as you want. You can take that recipe. Remember, I cut that recipe in half. So if you wanted more, you could make more. And it's materials that you probably already have in your household. All right, guys, thanks so much for spending this time with me. Let me know if you decide to make something like this. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. All right, bye-bye.